was 1895. Most science fiction movies were unrealistic and unbelievable. Then, an innovation came along which revolutionized special effects and led to the complex techniques we have today. Stop motion. From stunning special effects of the 1930s to familiar children's characters, stop motion allowed movies to become more realistic and had lasting impact on the film industry. Stop motion is the process in which animators build a three-dimensional model and take a picture of it, move it ever so slightly, and take another picture. When the photographs are played in rapid succession, the object appears to move on its own.
The genius of stop motion animation is that it's so simple. It allows you to move around almost any object as long as it's miniaturized enough or mobile enough and create the illusion of motion. And it can create microscopic motion and grand motion a la King Kong.
It all started by accident. In 1895, Georges Méliès, a French movie maker, was filming a street scene when his camera jammed. Filming stopped temporarily, then resumed. Later, when reviewing the film, Méliès was amazed to see how the interruption in time made people and objects on the street appear to change. "I saw men turn into women, and a four-wheel buggy into a hearse," he said. Méliès went on to apply this technique, called stop-motion replacement, to his 1896 film, The Vanishing Lady, in which a woman turns into a skeleton and back. The first time stop-motion was used as an animation technique was in 1898 with the Humpty Dumpty Circus by James Blackton and Albert Smith, artists well known for their dancing cigarettes commercial. Through distribution of films, stop-motion spread from France to England and eventually to the United States. The 1890s were a bright time in America. Many famous books were written and important inventions such as a typewriter were introduced. The cinemascope was relatively new and movies were extremely popular. Many science fiction movies were made at this time, but the quality of the special effects was poor. Movie makers used techniques such as puppets, costumes, light tricks, and superimposing, all of which appeared very unrealistic on film. Stop motion as a special effects medium did not really take off until 1910 to 1920. The first film to use stop motion where the animation was intended to look real was The Ghost of Slumber Mountain in 1919 by Willis O'Brien, possibly the most important animator of all time. Willis O'Brien was a genius and an innovator. His design for the metal ball and socket armature is what allowed stop motion to take off as a special effects medium. The metal armature was sturdier and easier to animate than the previously used wooden armatures, which would slip and slide. O'Brien started out making short comedy films, such as 1915's The Dinosaur and the Missing Link. His first science fiction film, the successful Ghost of Slumber Mountain, was the first film to feature dinosaurs against modern humans. It was a huge success and rocketed O'Brien into high demand. Though the animation is crude and often jerky, it is innovative in that it utilized stop motion as a new way to produce special effects, and it paved the way for future films. In comparison to earlier science fiction films, this film was groundbreaking in its lifelike realization of dinosaurs. In 1925, O'Brien animated The Lost World, based on a novel by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The film utilized no less than 50 dinosaur models, all of which had to be animated by hand. The innovative techniques made the dinosaurs appear to breathe, their chests heaving, through the use of a football bladder. Although this film was good, it would never compare to O'Brien's greatest triumph, King Kong, released in 1933. King Kong was the film that made Willis O'Brien a household name. A film about a giant ape attacking New York may seem commonplace now, but then it was unheard of, a surprising and jarring idea that shocked the public. Stop-motion animation of King Kong was spectacular, and the movie was a huge success, serving to inspire one of the greatest animators of all time, Ray Harryhausen. Harryhausen began by making short stop-motion films of fairy tales and Mother Goose stories in the 1950s. His first science fiction film was The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, produced in 1952. Highly inspired by O'Brien, Harryhausen's animation is superb, almost flawless, the dinosaur appearing believably real. Many of Ray Harryhausen's films have become cult favorites, remembered by many as Saturday morning TV epics. 1958's The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad was one of the first films to allow humans to interact directly with models. This was achieved by a reprojection technique in which scenery was projected behind the animation table, while live action was projected in front. This is the way most stop-motion movies are filmed, even today. Harryhausen's success continued with movies such as Jason and the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans. His work set a new standard for the quality of stop-motion films, and he brought greater attention to the media and respect for the science fiction genre. In 1970s and 80s, O'Brien and Harryhausen's work continued to influence younger animators such as David Allen, Dennis Muren, and Jack Woods. The techniques used in stop motion during this era remained virtually the same, as by this time the method appeared to have advanced to its furthest possible point. Having been a successful and innovative special effects medium for many years, why did stop motion seem to suddenly lose its appeal? The answer can be expressed in just two words: Jurassic Park. The year was 1993, and computers were becoming more widespread in their use and capabilities. The idea was born to make stop motion digitalize, making the task of putting animation in the same frame as live action easier. This idea became the technique of CGI, computer-generated images. Jurassic Park director Steven Spielberg had intended to use stop motion in his film, but when he saw a test animation of the dinosaurs, he was so impressed with the lifelike quality of CGI, he decided to go with it.
Between the two, Steven Spielberg had to choose computers or stop motion, and so basically Steven chose computers. But the influence of stop motion was that a lot of reference material was done in stop motion for that film as tests to show how things moved. So from that film, they kind of worked out a process of using stop motion to help CGI animators who were new in the field.
Jurassic Park was received with great enthusiasm by audiences and critics, in great part due to the new animation techniques. The reign of stop motion had come to an end. From its introduction in 1895 to its retirement as a leading technique in 1993, stop motion changed the face of special effects animation. Before stop motion, filmmakers unsuccessfully tried various ways to make science fiction appear real. Stop motion allowed filmmakers to create life from the inanimate. It had a major impact on the entertainment industry for more than 60 years, and it paved the way for the computerized techniques of today. Today, stop motion is still used in film and TV, chosen for its unique power to create a universe different from our own, with exaggerated caricatures, talking animals, and unusual characters. Contemporary stop-motion filmmakers Tim Burton brought us The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, and recently, Corpse Bride. Nick Park is known for his popular Wallace and Gromit movies. Recently, Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox was nominated for an Academy Award, along with Coraline by Henry Selick. Many young artists are dedicated to the art of keeping stop motion alive today.